All right, let's talk about the in-season tournament because the bracket was set last week and we are going to have the tournament this upcoming week. The quarterfinals are on Monday and Tuesday, so let's go by each matchup one by one. Of course, this is not a series. This is an elimination, one-game elimination. So literally anything can happen, and all my initial thoughts will just go out the window. But I just wanted to give a few thoughts on each quarterfinals game. There's 4. 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday. So let's get into the first Monday matchup game, the Pacers-Celtics, and that one I think is going to be a banger because, one, the Pacers, they just play at an insane pace. The Celtics have one of the best offenses in the NBA. I'm not sure if Kristaps Porzingis is going to be back in time or not, but they still have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, and they have just shooting off the bench with Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Luke Cornett's probably the only weak link there, but they definitely have the defense to at least get a few stops on the Pacers. I don't think the Pacers can stop anybody, but it'll be a great showcase for Tyrese Halliburton, who has been just otherworldly this season. Tyrese Halliburton's numbers are fucking ridiculous this year. The dude is averaging 27 points a game, nearly 12 assists per game, 52% shooting from the field, nearly 45% from 3 on over 8 attempts per game, and his true shooting percentage is 67. That's insane. He has been absolutely spectacular this year. And look, like I said, the Pacers have one of the worst defenses in the NBA. They are 29th per cleaning the glass, allowing 121.9 points per 100 possessions. And the Celtics are definitely going to get their open looks. If the Celtics just keep getting to the rim and, the open threes come off of paint touches, it's going to be really tough for this Pacers team to stop the Celtics. But if the Celtics do fall in love with the 3 where there's no movement and it's just, taking the first semi-open contested look you can see, then I can definitely see the Pacers hanging around for a bit. But at the end of the day, the Celtics still have the number 2 defense in the NBA. They still have a top 10 offense, so they can definitely score enough to keep up with the Pacers. I'm really ready for anything since it's a one-game elimination. We really could see an all-star type of game where the game is just flowing and everybody's just shooting open shots, getting to the basket, whatever. Anything can happen, especially with the volatility that the Pacers play with, where they give up a lot of points and they get a lot of points. But this will be a fun one. The Celtics will be in Indiana for this one, so the Pacers might get a little home cooking there as well, and the Pacers could make this a really good match. I still think I would go with Boston in this matchup. Then in the second game of the Monday night in-season tournament doubleheader, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, who have been playing great their last 10 games, 7-3 in their last 10 games, against the Sacramento Kings, who have also been 7-3 in their last 10 games and have been playing a lot better since De'Aaron Fox came back from his ankle injury. Zion is looking more like Zion the last couple of weeks, and the Kings might have a tough time stopping him. The Nuggets play the Kings tonight, so I don't know if Keegan Murray is ready to go or not, but that's the only guy I can really see being able to at least give some resistance to Zion. It'll be an interesting matchup for sure. Mike Brown has been starting Chris Duarte while Keegan's been out. Trey Lyles has been back the last couple of games. That's the other guy I could see that could at least have some heft to give some resistance to Zion. Sasha Vezenkov has been playing well too, but this might be a tough matchup for the Kings. But the Pelicans on the other end, they have some answers not answers, but they at least have some credible things to throw at De'Aaron Fox. Of course, you got Herb Jones, who has just been a fucking monster on the defensive end. The matchup between Jonas Valanciunas and Domantas Sabonis is going to be an interesting one. Domantas Sabonis, I feel like, has one of the few body types that can at least keep a body on Jonas. It's whenever the Kings go with JaVale McGee or if Mike Brown decides to go smaller that I think could cause some problems unless Valanciunas gets played off the court in this particular game. But it's going to be a fun one. It's 2 of the younger teams in the NBA, 2 of the up-and-coming teams in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox has been playing like a superstar so far this season. And like I said, Zion's getting back to Zion. CJ McCollum just got back, and he's been, scoring pretty well, but I still think he has a ways to go before he gets back to peak form. He played 38 minutes against the Spurs, and he had a collapse. If I had a collapsed lung, I would be done for the year, let alone come back in, a month? But it'll be interesting to see what type of lineup combinations the Pelicans land on to get enough spacing around Zion and Brandon Ingram. If I had to pick a winner in this one, I'm probably going with the Kings just because of, 1, the home court, and 2, I think the Kings' motion offense might be able to move the Pelicans off kilter a little bit. There are definitely weak spots the Pelicans can attack. I'm expecting a really good game out of this one, but I'm giving the Kings just the slight edge. We'll see what happens. Now we go to the Bucks and Knicks, and these two teams have already played each other. It was on November 4th. This matchup was one of the many examples of how the Bucks' defensive backcourt is just going to be a problem all year unless they make a change and take Malik Beasley out, but I imagine they won't do that because they like his shooting and how that opens up everything on offense. And Jalen Brunson might be primed to have another field day again. He had 45 points in that Knicks game against the Bucks, and while Julius Randle did shoot the ball poorly in that game, he has been shooting better lately and has been playing a bit better. So the Bucks are going to need to account for that as well. Also, Chris Middleton, I assume, is going to be playing in that game. It looks like he's ready to go tonight against the Hawks. And if that Miami Heat Bucks game last week was any example of Chris Middleton and his importance to this offense, I mean, it goes without saying that's another guy that can close from the perimeter when the game gets close. I think the Bucks will squeak out this one. I would, for once, like to see more Dame Giannis two-man game, and it seems like it's been incrementally increasing, but then you have games like, the Chicago game where they barely ran any Dame and Giannis pick and roll after seemingly running it more frequently in the Miami Heat game. Brook Lopez and Giannis are going to have to keep Mitchell Robinson off the glass. They're going to have to keep Julius Randle off the glass. The New York Knicks have also emphasized a lot more three-point shooting this year, and they are 9th in team three-point percentage per cleaning the glass. So the perimeter, that's going to be an issue for the Bucks, but around the rim where the Knicks are at their weakest, that's where Brook and Giannis come into play. They're also, like I said, going to have to keep him off the glass. For the Knicks, they're just going to have to attack the in-between stuff, and that's kind of where they live. Jalen Brunson, once again, is going to be, I think, an X factor in this game. He's been playing spectacular this year, but more so, the way he is getting his shots this year is a bit different than, last season. He's taking more three-pointers. He's living in the mid-range a little bit less. He is still a mid-range monster. A lot less shots at the rim. Also a lot less accurate from the rim this year. He's made up for it everywhere else. He's been shooting the shit out of the ball, and he's either going to have Damian Lillard or Malik Beasley guarding him. Unless the Bucks want to opt for more athleticism, they're probably going to put Andre Jackson, who is questionable tonight, or Marshawn Beauchamp, I imagine. Pat Connaughton is still out with that ankle injury, and Jay Crowder is also out. The Bucks just also have a lot of injuries to the wing position, which is kind of detrimental to them because of their weaknesses on the perimeter defensively. But I got the Bucks. And last but not least, we got the Suns and the Lakers. The Suns will be going to Crypto.com Arena. It'll be Kevin Durant versus LeBron James again. It's amazing that after 5 years of not getting that matchup, we got two incredible ones this season. 2 games where LeBron had to take over, and the 4th where Durant had to take over. And it's just a quick aside. It's just amazing that these guys, Durant 35, LeBron's going to be 39 in a couple of weeks or later on this month, and they are still the best players on their team. Devin Booker has been out for 9 games, and Kevin Durant has been keeping this team afloat. I mean, 35 years old, averaging 31, 7, and 6. LeBron, 25, 8, and 6. And we're getting another classic matchup between these two in the inaugural in-season tournament. That's just fun. Devin Booker's not going to play in this one. That's the number one on that team, obviously, but Kevin Durant, LeBron James, that's the headliner. The Lakers are getting Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt back, so that's going to be more bodies to throw at Kevin Durant. I'm sure with Booker out and Beal not having played with the big three at all this season, the Lakers are just going to be throwing the kitchen sink at Kevin Durant, especially for a one-game elimination type. I imagine that's the coverage that Kevin Durant is going to see. So it's going to be on guys like Grayson Allen to keep knocking down shots. He's been really aggressive this year. Eric Gordon's going to have to keep stretching the floor with that deep three-point range and attacking off of a closeout. Nurkic is going to have to at least battle Anthony Davis to a stalemate with his percentages finishing around the rim. I know he did well the other night against Jokic and was giving Jokic absolute buckets last night, but he's typically not a big that can finish well around the rim, though he has gotten better on that end. He's gotten better defensively too compared to earlier in the season. AD is going to be a tough matchup for him, and he's going to have to try to finish around that shot-blocking pterodactyl that is Anthony Davis. As far as the matchup for LeBron, the Suns are going to have to do it by committee. Keita Bates-Diop, Kevin Durant some, drop coverage, make LeBron beat you over the top, play him in a crowd, and then make the non-shooters, shoot from three, make them beat you. And, the Lakers half-court offense, that's actually low-key one of the stories of the season so far, is that a LeBron James-led team right now is 22nd in offensive rating per cleaning the glass. Their defense still remains top 10, and that's because, they have good defenders. And with the Suns, that's going to be key for the Lakers. Phoenix, by the way, top 5 offense, and their big three has not played together. Booker's been in and out of the lineup. Kevin Durant, ironically, has been the healthy one of the big three. But if Booker is not able to go in this game, this is just going to be tough sledding for the Suns offensively. If Booker does go in this game, how healthy is he going to be? Are the Suns really going to try to push it? How bad is Booker's ankle? That type of thing. And if it's just Kevin Durant, then the Lakers are going to have an easier time, obviously, defending the Suns and just showing a crowd at Kevin Durant at all times, especially with Rui and Jared Vanderbilt back. That's a lot of length and a lot of athleticism to throw at KD. Make Grayson Allen shoot 7 for 10 from 3 or whatever. Make Eric Gordon beat you. Make Nurkic finish around the rim around Anthony Davis. It's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to have another classic one, I think, but it's probably going to be one of those games where both stars get their numbers, but they're going to be inefficient because each team's going to be throwing everything at the other guy. I got the Lakers slowly squeaking out this one. If Booker does play, then I'm probably leaning Suns.